All right, welcome to example 1. We got find the exponential function. The equation for our exponential is y equals c times a to the x of the graph shown below. So anytime, you guys, we are finding an equation, our final answer will always have an x and a y in it. So this means we need to figure out what is c and what is a. Okay, I would recommend always looking for what is c. C is the y-intercept. So do I know the y-intercept with this example? Yes, I do. My y-intercept is 1. So c equals 1. So that's kind of always the first step. So what is my initial or my y-intercept? Do I know it? Yes, I do. C is equal to 1. Perfect. Then what we need to do is I need to solve for a. So similar to our quadratics, in order to solve for a, I would pick another point and plug it into my equation and solve for a. So we're going to pick a point on the graph. Pick a point. Any one, doesn't matter. Okay. I am going to go ahead and do 1, 3. So pick a point. I'm going to use 1, 3. And then I plug it in. Plug in my point and C. Plug in your point and C value. And then you solve for A. Solve for A. So let's do that. So I have y equals c times a to the x. So my y value, this is x and this is y. Y is 3. My c value is 1 times a. A, I don't know. And then x is 1. Then you would solve. Remember, when you guys are solving this, don't forget to follow PEMDAS. So it's parentheses, then exponent. So I would say a to the first, which is a, and then times by 1. So that gives me just a. So I have 3 equals a. So that's pretty easy using that value. So my equation would be y equals 1 times 3 to the x. Okay, if your c value is 1, you don't need to rewrite it, so you could just say it's 3 to the x. This would be my equation. What if you didn't pick 1, 3 though? The math would be a little bit more complicated, so I just want to walk through that. So let's say I picked this point, 2, 9. And you maybe didn't have 1, 3 offered. What you would do is you would plug in the information to this equation. So my y value is 9. C times a, I know what c is, don't I? I know c is 1. 1 times a to the second. Okay. Well, if this was a number other than 1, I would first start out by dividing by it. But since it's 1, I really have 9 equals a squared. And then we go ahead and we take a square root. Remember, when you guys take a square root, 2 answers. So it's plus or minus the square root of 9, which is 3. And so a is equal to positive or negative 3. We have a growth function, and so it's going to be the positive 3. Okay. Also, your a values are typically in between 0, not typically, they're 0 and greater. So we only have positive a values, but it's still important to show that you got a plus or minus. Then you'd fill it into our equation, same as before. So I had 1 times 3 to the x, which we would simplify to that answer. Okay, so sometimes you'll have to take a square root. If you had a to the third, you'd have to take a cube root to solve. So that is example 1.